time for the semifinals. Hello everybody, welcome back. DGG number 7 has got 2 more streams left in it. We've got Thextera and Venator on one side of the bracket, and we got myself and the Face on the other side of the bracket. This is a best of 3. The winner actually needs to win with both of their decks. Can't be bringing any dead weights for this or any silver bullets. They gotta be kind of general use or lucky enough to just get the W anyway. We see Thextera rolling with green and blue. The egg style is pretty great. Flaming Stampede. We saw what that does. It does a little Stampede graphic on everything. Big damage though. So we'll be seeing some awesome egg combos between creators, quite good for pumping up Twin Fang. And on the other side, we've got this Elena build that has a ton of tokens. Once Oaken the Nematon has seen 5 unique tokens, a gigantic buff is here forever. Did a lot of good work for Thextera in the earlier stage where he was almost indestructible. We've also got Venator the 4th on the other side, sporting double yellow. We've got the Brome Wanderer. It's got a ton of stuff in it, pretty decent suite of spells as well. And we've got Zeron with the healing style. We haven't seen this one pop up much, but maybe today's the day. Yeah, and once we're through this best of 3, we'll scope out the other decks on the other side. But for now, we're going into game number 1 of Thextera, the Aeon Strider versus Venator IV. Best of 3, good luck to everybody. Okay, game number 1 looks like this. There's actually been a patch since we've last streamed, so we may see some differences. Like, silenced units now have a little thing that shows off that they're silenced. Pretty cool. Venator has almost a dead opening. Dead openings suck a lot more with a Wanderer style because it'll just immediately burn a card. But Blood's Alchemist can get out of the hand, which is just perfect for development. And then next turn, this thing could potentially walk forward for a hit, could take this mana, or could fall back diagonally to take the mana and be safe. As for Thextera's opening, we've got a possibility of unsummoning, which will actually just kill the Alchemist, which could be done in conjunction with some Ice Spines, or some Bone Chill Barriers, rather. We might actually see that. Nope, we are seeing walls into walls. Vanar has some pretty gnarly looking openers. Sometimes they can just fill the board with stuff instantly. And it's going to be hard to clear all of these Bone Chill Barriers in time unless Brome takes a hit on one, the Alchemist takes a hit on the other, and the Sentinel takes a hit on the third. But instead, I'm going to be focusing down these Blazing Splines, just because there's 2 of them to take out instead of 3. The Spine trading for 6 damage though, Thex is not going to mind that. So Venator is not even going to give it the initial attack, just let the Sentinel finish it off later. Thextera on 2/5 the way to his trial. It has a lot of ways to generate some trial tokens. This aspect of the bear might be a good one. Could wake up one of these Bone Chill Barriers and immediately attack the Sentinel. Pretty good. Strong turn 1 followed by a very strong turn 2. Venator's Decimate doesn't really function in this situation. The Repulsor Beast might be fine. This Blazing Spines is just gonna stay here and count towards the tokens. Pretty menacing. Venator's able to drop the air Pride Beak. Pretty good unit. Sustains you a little bit. Using Hailstone Prison actually just to destroy it. Hailstone Prison is so strong against an opponent with a full hand. This is an empty action bar-ish to pretty much a full action bar. There are so many strong things going on. It might actually be worth it just to pop a Decimate, because that would take out the Ursa Plop and would take out the Blazing Spines. The only problem though is to clear the last Bone Chill barrier, this Sentinel will wake up. So instead the Sunset Paragon is here to clear with that. Very nice. Trial count down to 2. As long as Venator can keep this trial from hitting 5, should have a pretty clear route to the win. Thex is gonna have to manage low hand size. His hand economy is everything. Has a pretty good draw though. Luminous Charge, be able to jail this Brome. Decimate does nothing. Repulsor Beast funnily kind of works. Just gonna stand in place and do some chopping. Call to Arms is kind of a way to fight back against the Trial, because the Trial is going to be handing off +4/+4, and Call to Arms grants +3/+3. Pretty comparable. So Decimate has been cast, gets rid of a ton of tokens. Dex just has to constantly attack this 1/2 provoke and pass turns. Oh, a Lightbender shows up? Unbelievable. Check out this play. Walls just disappear in the face of this thing. Very nice stuff from Venator, and keeping the Pure Blade Enforcer down here, nice and protected. Trial count down to 1. Thex is gonna have to hope that this Drake Dowager gets tripped. Going for some bombs. So this is kind of just a 3/3 that turns off your opponent from attacking. Magnetize. Venator able to find the clean kill on this. Freeze him up to attack. The way has been cleared. And then instead of putting the provoke 2/3 in front of him, puts the 2/3 behind him, so it's closer to Thex. Thex is gonna have to pick it up real soon. Because Venator's trial is already here getting value. And when in doubt, just freeze it. Ice strats generally are good. And there's only one Lightbender in this deck, so that's it for the AoE Dispel. Unless something like an EMP shows up. So the trial's coming along and actually threatens to be completed next turn. This Blistering Scorn just cannot clear anything, so it gets replaced. Replacing without dropping Kron first kind of make Kron not the play. Taking out the Veracity of Yggdrasil. Gets rid of the token count and the nasty 5/5 that heals itself constantly. It's a pretty good use of Crypt Beast. This Pure Blade Enforcer is pretty huge. It's been pumped up 3 times already, plus the Destiny. So it's gonna hit hard. And Thextera here could go up to 4 tokens, but that is not enough, just barely short. These plays to keep the token count down have been really key. Venator absolutely keeping in it. Thex might need to use this aspect of the Ravager on the Pure Brilliant Enforcer. As soon as it gets close, it's just going to hit for too hard. So it's got to be a 3/3 dog now. But usually this deck wants to cast this on their own stuff to up the count. Quite a bit of damage coming in, considering the Tempest. Fortunately for Thex, this Lightbender can't come in for an attack. It is too walled out. Doesn't stop him though. Interesting of, I wonder what causes these black squares. I'm gonna blame Lightbender. The buff has been cast. Arms have been called too. We can't see the buff if we mouse over Brome, but we know the buff exists. And I think this can be dispelled too, if there was another Lightbender. Thex doing what he can, trading hit points pretty generously to keep the board around here on his side. But 3 hit points left is the situation. Venator could have possibly ended it if a Tempest showed up again. Kron's here. Kron is super formidable. Everything that is spawning nearby is actually huge. And a 6/6 provoke. This is a lucky keyword and position. Because if this was to the left, it wouldn't get the gigantic buff. And if it didn't have provoke, it wouldn't be such great defense. This is real nasty for Thex. Lots of tokens. There is the possibility of giving away everything for the trial. Kron needs to be dogified though. This is impossible amounts of value to deal with. Problems don't end with Kron though, because every turn a 5/6 provoke is coming in. So just stall it with tons of garbage. Doesn't matter how high the attack is when there's this many units to cut through. Okay, well that's 5 of 5. Trial complete. It still costs 6 mana to get the Oak out though. So Thex is gonna have to hold strong for one more turn. It's gonna be a gigantic board once it flips. Pretty unfortunate replace there by Venator to replace when there were no free spices around Kron, so the bonus unit just got eaten. Mage Born's pretty nice, but it is Oaken and Nemeton turn time. And here's Kron to start pumping out some 6/6s. The Mage Swarm's gonna be quite annoying, because Thex would love to slow down these enemies. Okay, we got giant buffs on both sides. Venator's head is so bad right now. It would actually kill the Circulus, so it's not the worst. Get that unit going. And that actually, what the damage was key. Getting Thex down to 1 hit point so the Shroud could get the kill. Congratulations, Venator, for the first win. So that's Brome done. We're not going to be seeing any Brome Wanderer. Which means it is on to Zeron. Thex will be free to play either of the 2 decks. Yeah, that Brome deck. It's a killer. And a rare setting of Call to Arms doing a ton of work, and it clashing with the Oak and the Nemeton and winning. Very good to spot lethal there. And let's go on to game number 2. Between Thex and Venator, with Venator up 1. So if the Zeron wins, he moves on. Gets the left side again. Has a pretty poor opener, but it's better than nothing. Turn 1 Hailstone Prison is not the kill spell it was last matchup. So maybe this deck will have an even harder time against heal. Turn 1's kind of awkward. It's probably going to be placing this Rescue RX diagonally down left, just to put pressure on this bottom mana. But that leaves the center mana for taking, so putting the Rescue RX there instead might be better. Spines it is. Rescue RX is best when it's actually healing you. A lot of the times you just ignore spines, but not against this trial. I'm going to be happy to have multiple copies of Lightbender. Probably gotta hold off on Rescue RX? No, it's rescue time. Of course, the big trick of this in the deck is it counts towards the tokens. So Thex is going to want to get 505 next turn. Interesting. Uses Afterglow to heal up the building so the ice wall can be destroyed. Sunrise are doing excellent work as always. I just realized that this unit has a yellow eye. How about that? Quite a strong response from Venator. Thex is gonna have to make 3 tokens to complete his trial on time, so that's not happening. Attacking Scintilla twice. I would have just thrown the bear at it, but the bear is doing work for the trial. Venator does have the option of using Lightbender to thaw off Scintilla so it can hit the bear for free. But that would cost the text box of Scintilla, which is a nice text box. Shame to lose it. And Lightbender could probably find some better plays later, hitting more of these walls. And Holy Immo is just off the mark. If Scintilla was one space to the right, this would be an incredible Immo. But as is, it's pretty medium. Maybe even bad. I think it would be worth it to slash one of these Investigators to freeze yourself and then thaw with the Lightbender, but just gonna do it this way. Holy Ammo on the spot. Stops the Rescue RX, and the heal of the Rescue RX actually would have been really relevant. So getting rid of that's pretty big gain. Thex down to 11. This is Thex's last life. Thex needs to crush this Lionar. Token generator somewhere kind of safe. It's within dispel range though. Five of 5. Trial complete. Suddenly the situation's looking pretty grim for them. And you cannot dispel a Winter Myriad, by the way. These are real units, not like the walls. But an attempt was made. Here's a 3-3 in your face. It looks like it's lights out for Venator. without having any gigantic removal on this point like Decimate. Having more than double your opponent's health is usually pretty good, but this trial is beyond good. Got this lovely oval entrapment. And so much damage can be pushed through. It's just lethal next turn. You got an EMP in here? Even an EMP doesn't shake off the buff. Ooh, good game. Could Lucid Beam something for 4, but it's just going to be taking so many sets of 6 that it is just done. Tying up the series. Vex is now 1-1. So we are going to be seeing Ragnora versus Zeron. Because Zeron still needs to get that win to escape the series, and it's just down to Rag to close it out. So who will it be? Taking a look, game number 3, the finale for this series on this side of the bracket. Starting now. Lava Slasher definitely got bigger since we saw him last, not stat-wise, but look at that sprite. Wow, turn 1 Golem Metallurgist? Is this one in the bag? Look at all these golems. They say turn 1 Metallurgist is like jet fuel for Magmar. Really for any golem deck. The Diagonal gives up the center mana, and a Lava Slasher can just take it. And it's going to be Lava Slashers running. At least Tempest and the Slash deals with one of them. Holy Ammo deals with it pretty cleanly, but that's a bit of a ways off. We're Sunrise Clericing first, and then Tempesting? I don't understand that. Oh, the Cleric's at 1 hit point. The onus is on Thex to destroy this Cleric, because this is something that could be healed. Slash. Metallurgist's gonna run and hide, because there's more golems coming. And the Bond is proccing. Guess Draining Wave technically deals with the Ragebinder, but wouldn't the Chrysalis Egg become more of a threat at this point? Venator would not mind having more Tempests right about now. Pretty awkward choices as is. Scatilla doesn't even do anything because the Blood Surge doesn't have a target. Well, I guess Metallurgist in the back can be healed up. As long as there's any damage minion picked, it works. Okay, Draining Wave on the token. 3-1 double strike. Could end games if it gets buffed by something like Greater Fortitude. So that's definitely the right target. Venator has done 7 damage to himself so far this turn. The blood cost is being paid in full. And there are more Lava Slashers coming, and then it's going to be transitioning into Mechanters forever. Plague Stick, they just suddenly become a game-ending threat. So we're probably seeing a Lava Slasher eat the Warlock. Yeah. Maybe Ragebinder pushing in for a bit of damage. Yeah. Because if your opponent's sitting on regeneration, you gotta push attacks as fast as you can. Otherwise, they'll just heal back up. And a Loosen Beam. Excellent draw. Then now we're managing to blast that 4-4. Now it's time for the next phase. What's your retort to Warbeast turn over turn? Oh, double Twin Fang! Thex is going to be hitting ridiculously hard. So this gold vitriol actually has to hit Reg multiple times. Which means it's got to be something like gold vitriol into Scintilla into BBS for 2 procs, and they both have to hit. And if one of them hits the Metallurgist, it's just game over. That looks like the only out. Well, other than Gold Vitriol and then Healing Sage and then Azure Herald. That works too. Slightly safer. No, we're doing Scintilla, heal the enemy. Better attack the egg first. Oh, it didn't attack the egg first! The egg got hit! Whoops! This gold vitriol didn't even have a chance. Congratulations, Thextera! The Aeon Walker is walking to the top 2. We'll be seeing more of him in the finals. Congratulations, Thex. One more look at these 2 decks on the left side that we'll be seeing a little bit more of. And a couple choice turns. Let one thing into another. And now we're on this side of the bracket. Alright. We've got Indubitablement, also known as the player on the left side of the screen, here with also green and blue. Very different styles though. Instead of Elena, we've got Kara the Wanderer. She is here to absolutely crush. The face is actually able to Grandmaster using this Kara deck. And posted this list as well into deck list discussion. Real cool. Love to see it. And then the other deck is Starhorn's Fireworks. It's New Year's, so we needed some Rebuke, or some Apex. Evolutionary Apex seemed to be pretty thematic, so it's just here. As for my list, we got purple and purple. Lilith the Wanderer with focus on Arcanists. And Maeve with a focus on 2. Because I couldn't be bothered to add a 3rd copy of anything except this Chakra. Alrighty. Let's see who takes it. Come on, Abyssian, in the finals. Maybe. Or maybe it'll be... Wait, the 2... What do they call them? Simic colors? Yeah. Check out all these banners, check out all these cards. Master of Shadows is one of the newer deck cards that kind of inspired the whole deck. It's very tanky for an Abyssian minion. Turn 1 Circulus. This is an excellent opener for basically any Vanguard deck, because these illusions are extra card draw. I've got a couple options here. Wraithling Swarm is a really funny player 2 turn 1 move because you get 2 mana off of it. Sacrifice gets me Quick Wanderer. And I'm going to use the Lure Circulus right away. Can't let my opponent get this mana. And I'll sacrifice for good measure. I'm sure I'll have some value for that. I don't know if that sacrifice was actually the best, but guaranteeing Wanderer next turn seems alright. The face puts down maximum stuff, walls out the mana from me. I'm still gonna threaten it. Probably going to want to grab the mana this turn, even though next turn could have ramped up the Wanderer with it. Malicious Wisp. One of the most annoying things in Van Ar. It's a mana stealer, so now I've got my 4 mana turn again. It's a good thing I was able to cheat out this Wanderer though, because my BBS spits out 2/2/2s. Here's Blue Conjurer for the refill and to get duplicates of stuff. If I can ping this Wisp twice with stuff that comes out of Master of Shadows, then I've got it dead. So I'm not too concerned about it. LaFace with terrifying options. Probably going to be Wanderer, right? Just get the doubling going. Big stats. Night Watcher's a pretty funny include because it will absolutely terminate some decks. Like anything using obelisks or Hate Forge. Mechanters, they just stop in place. Death Kneel is the spicy finisher of the deck. Once I've got a bunch of dead Arcanists, you just drop this, and they'll come back. So for 5 mana, I could go Inkhorn Gaze, the Pet, and Healing Sage. That's like a combination of stuff. Other option is the Blue Conjurer just comes out, ping something for 2. And then this Inkhorn Gaze gets a lot better afterwards. So we're gonna backline the Blue Conjurer. My opponent's got the 1 silence. I don't know where this Dispel is going. There's some argument for the value generator, and there's some for the damage generator. Prismatic Illusionist. Has some excellent synergy with Kinetic Surge because you just get a unit that has the buff. And the silence was thrown out on the Conjurer, so that shuts down the Funhouse. The trick to unsilencing is you kill your unit off and respawn it. The bee is actually decently threatening here. Usually this thing gets replaced in later game, but it's flying and now it's got a bunch of buffs on it, so it tangles. I've got the option to ping something with the Arcanist and then ping something with the Gaze. And if the Gaze is a lethal, then I got a free unit out of it. Healing Sage is kind of misplaced. I guess the idea was it would recover my key Arcanists, but I'm never finding a place to play it. And I replace Sai because that's a 3/3 with no text. If that was something like a Dax, I would keep it because that's got celerity. Okay, value generators on both sides. EMP shows up, pretty high impact. Not on this board, but could be good later. Maybe on this board. It would take out a friendly illusion still, so probably not. Able to get some favorable trades here. And is clearing as many units as possible, wary of the Trot Room. And Jack's True Sight has been dropped, along with the Snow Chaser in front. So now there's a bunch of 2/2 ranged everywhere. I was only lucky that they didn't get the buff to be all 3/3 ranged. Since they're 2/2, every Arcanist I play pops one. I have regrettably no Arcanists that I can play. Feralu could get me more copies of Arcanists, but that's a bit slow. Ritual Banishing. My units are all way too high value to Ritual Banish though, so that's awkward. I'm taking 6 damage per turn from this left side, so I need to push. I cannot be against this right side any longer. It is time to go. Plus, if I can push far enough, the Snow Chaser turns off. I just gotta banish. Losing my key unit was not great, but it could have been chosen for death anyway. Could have actually taken 2 steps to the left there, that might have been better. I have some gigantic stats thanks to Feralu showing up. This was placed in a position where the general can slash it though. It may have been better actually at the back line. New plan, rush the general. You only need to kill this 1 unit to win, right? I don't need to worry about these ranged in the back. Arcane Devourer is not an Arcanist, but lets me cast my top Arcanist for 1. The only Arcanist that have died though is the Shadow Master and now the Illusionist, so it gets some stuff. But what I really want is more blue Conjurers. Or more time, really. Give me a Tempest. Locke is here to eat a bunch of turns with this thing. Replacing Crypto, finding not much. Best plan this turn is probably BPS, Refresh, and then BPS. Instead, I'm going to go Arcane Devourer, Death Kneel. Because I figure my opponent is slipping away and I need to push as much damage as quickly as possible. So we're doing the YOLO strat. backing up. It might have been best to take a slash on this illusionist, but I'm going for like a kill maneuver, so the face is just running this guy. Has some really good trades here. This 5-4 actually could have killed a 9-5. But this actually lets it keep around. And since it's got provoke, that's really annoying. I have some pretty overstated minions. But I'm dead in 2 to 3 turns at this rate. I need to find my own EMP. Finding a mana forger. This unit's so bad. Why do we have mana forgers? Turns out what I need is a spelljammer. Breath of the Unborn actually be pretty funny at this point. Could heal up this death kneel a bit and take rid of all of the ranged. I'm thinking Breath of the Unborn. Make some trades, making this 9-1 and the 7-1 really juicy targets for the range, so these ranged aren't hitting my general. Yeah. They're just ranged magnets. A Windstopper would be pretty nice. Here's a bird. And the pet shows back up. I'll just get rid of the pet. Dark Transformation's a bit late. The bird's the biggest target, but ranged is the most dangerous keyword, so might as well just hit the ranged. I've stepped in front of the bird, but the Wraithling can block it. So I'm not dead on the spot. And I'm just gonna drop my hand. Yeah, I'm not coming back with this. Congratulations, the face. Kara Wanderer making it through, no problem. Okay. Whoa. Time to make the comeback 2-0, or hey, we'll see what happens. Starhorn's coming though, that's a certainty. And I've mixed it up. So we are still doing well with not that much to mix up actually. Evolutionary Apex is the name of the deck, and you can see the sort of things it's cheating out. Funny interaction, Apex, if you cast this and there is a general with a trial in your hand, it just falls onto the battlefield and you can never get the trial destiny effect off. So we need to get this Wanderer down before the spell's cast or it's real bad. Mobius, funnily enough, is an Arcanist. Turn 1 Aether Master is just a great opener. No complaints. Mobius is decently tanky, so it seems to be the good drop. Grandmaster Krygon is some real shit to get down with this Apex. There's a couple styles of Apex. Some people like deleting the deck with these Memnivores. Some people get Grill Masters that have a bunch of keywords. Do you like the rings that she's got on her arms? Don't see a lot of the Sprite. Gigantaloth, or whatever it is pronounced as. So I can do 7 or 8 damage if I just push in. Got an assortment of stuff. Blood-type Priestess is here just because it's cool. Hula Hoop doesn't have a whole lot of synergy with Arcanists. Choosing to not push 7 damage. Playing around this thing suddenly building, but there's actually no timekeepers in this deck. Gigantaloths are just to be cheated out with Apex or to be played along the way. So I figure I'll get some value out of this Mobius. See if I can get it to heal. But Homeostatic Rebuke is here, the perfect counter to Blood-type Priestess. I could potentially steal something with Demonic Conversion, but it might cost 9 mana. So I figure War Beast plus some spells. Biometric Hulk, kind of an awkward one. I could have had him half dead by now if I was just attacking aggressively. I bought myself space for this dino. I don't have a great response to it. I can potentially silence it, but it's still the 4 mana 7/7. So my 6 mana turn is usually the Wanderer. So we're just gonna fall back and scale up size. Let's see if my spell copying degeneracy can get there in the end. My opponent has 2 Grail Masters. You would think a Grail Master is something you would see with a Swarm list, like with Lilith, but usually you see it with Apex, because it actually procs a bunch of times. Also, it's Apex turn. I don't even have space around me to drop all my units. Ugh, Apex. My opponent's got Grow +7 Force Fields. The bigger threat though is these Grail Masters have flying and or ranged. So I just lost the fireworks. Happy New Year, everybody. I am no match for the timely Apex. These fireworks are way too massive. I would need some kind of board wipe spell. The best option I have would be Betrayal, so I replaced the Find It and didn't get it. That's it. I'm out. LaFace, Indubitablement has won 2-0 and is going to be facing Thextera in the finals. So we'll be seeing a little bit of this side and this side, left and left. We saw a lot of people running Vanar plus Magmar, and that's what the finals is. Vanar Magmar versus Vanar Magmar. It turns out the solid style with the Kara mixed with the explosive slot machine style Pretty good pairing. Because you can just use your solid style for all the matches that don't require both decks, and then bust out the maybe it'll win. Maybe that'll work for the finals, because the finals you can play any of your 2 decks for each of them, and it's going to be a best of 5. It's going to be pretty exciting. We'll give those guys as much time as they need to play out those games. And then DGG 08 anyone? Might as well kick off another tournament. But that wraps up the semifinals. Thanks everybody for watching and joining and playing. We are out of here. See you guys next time.